So that's the screamer pipe and the downpipe back in, and what you can see is we have a very tortuous route for the return line. So it's going to have to kind of, it can't really become between the two, I don't think. So it's going to have to do kind of go out there 45 degrees, out there and back into a 90, and I'm just going to have to see what the best thing I can do here is. And the first thing I'm going to do is just undo this grub screw, which is in the Moroso sump, and that's with a 10mm Allen. So it seemed like it had some kind of thread lock on it. So now I'm just going to put my fitting in place of that. Okay, here we have the AN10 conversion. So that's AN10, and this is half NPT into the sump. So just put it on the bottom because that's as far as it goes when I test fitted it. Tighten it up with this, which is the adjustable AN wrench. There is actually another bung at the back there for some reason, and I've just got this bung out. It's again 10mm Allen, and I've just put some Teflon tape around it and tighten it up. There are options, so we've got straight, 45 degree and a 90, and I think what's going to work out best is probably going to be the 45 and 90, and I'll show you them on the end. You can see these are the issues I'm having. I've got a 45 here, and I think I'm going to have a 45 there as well, because just to get the angle right. I mean, this is Teflon line, so I've probably made a bit of a rod for my own back here, because really a normal line would be much more flexible. This isn't very flexible. Either way, this is what I've gone for. I'm going to get another AN10 45 there, which will probably do the job. Obviously you see that the screamer pipe is not in a great spot there. That's going to have to get adapted, because there's no way I'm really going to get, well, my 45 is actually going to be resting on the screamer pipe otherwise, which isn't the best thing. So I'm going to have to get that adapted. So that's what we have for now. Also, you can see the exhaust, the downpipe is actually shooting in a pretty good place, but will need to be extended to meet that decat pipe there. So that's no real big drama. At least it will run as it is for now, like that. And you can see I've only got a couple of bolts on this downpipe. I'll put the spec of the bolts up there, but the kit was missing a bolt or so, so I just bought some new ones. But yeah, that screamer pipe is going to be all wrong for where I need to place in the oil drain. So I've just put everything kind of in place on the car, and it just leads me to think that I need to make quite a few changes here. So I've got the 45 degree bend, the AN10, and I've got the adapter in the sump, and I think the best way to try and get some distance, ideally I want at least like 3 centimeters away from this downpipe that's going to get incredibly hot, is I'm going to just run it like this, so about that angle, come round and then shoot into a straight which goes straight into there. Now for me to do that I need to modify the screamer pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the screamer pipe about here, and then I'm going to shoot straight down with it, so it kind of ends out kind of here, where my fingers are. So I'm going to do that. What else do I have to do? This return from the well, this is the compress out, so into the intercooler. This is a real issue as well, just because the angle's involved. I can't actually rotate my compressor housing further up, because then it will get in the way of the radiator. I actually need all the space I've got here to mount my radiator how it is. I don't really want to mess with that. So this is going to be the issue I think I'm going to come into, is it's going to be very hard for me to get some distance between the exhaust downpipe and the intercooler piping here. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do there yet, but I know I need to make some other changes, so I may as well do them and then try and figure out what on earth I'm going to do about that. So I think there will be good. I'll just show you roughly where that's going to leave it. I'm going to leave it in this kind of location down there, which is alright actually, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to cut it there. So that chop saw made quick work of that, and that's the bit I've got left over. Right, I'll just cut and sanded and deburred it and everything. Put it on now and see what we've got. Right, the first bit of information is I'm not a fabricator. Second bit is I think this might work. So if you see there where I've got the lines, and if I have it like that, it's going to have a little cut to make that good, and it'll end up there, which is perfect. It's out the way of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this bit at an angle about that much off this whole thing, and I'm going to do it just with a manual saw, because this thing is just going to do it very quick but really probably make a mess of it. So I'm going to put it in a vise and just cut that bit off. So after taking a big pie section out, this is what I'm going to end up with. You can see it clears everything pretty much. Could probably add a bit of an extension piece at the bottom there, but it's just out of the way. For now I'll just have it out of the way, and you can see I'm going to have a much better shot at putting that straight AN10 in there like that. So it's all very good news, and that's one headache maybe out the way. You can see I've just had it tacked up, and that's going to just exit between the traction bar and the chassis. So I'm not sure if you'd have seen the previous video I did about making AN10 Teflon lines, but I'll put a link in the description and you can go and have a look at that. But basically these are actually very simple to use. This is an AN10 Teflon line, and you can see all we need to do is unscrew this first of all. Place it this way round, so over there like that, and then what we do is, this is the important bit, because this is the final piece that you screw in place. I'll leave that to one side there, and then you need to get a flathead screwdriver and you push these all back, and then you place this little olive this way round, so that that flat ledge there ends up flat against this Teflon inner, but in between the Teflon inner and this braiding there. So that's why you need to get a little flat head to push the braiding back, and it's also why you need to place in the little end there first, because once you've pushed the braiding back you'll have a very hard time getting that over there. So I'm going to get a little flathead screwdriver and just pop that down there now. So this is what I'm talking about. That's a little flathead screwdriver. I'm just prying that out so I can fit this little olive, I guess we'll call it, pretty much where you want it. So that thing's the whole way home, right the way around there. Now you just need to make sure you get some your 3-in-1 oil, which I'll show you. Place it on the adapter and screw the whole thing together. So this is the oil. I'll just put a little bit on the threads there. I can just poke this down into there and tighten up. So that's the whole way home there, and I can just tighten that end onto there. So that's started and nearly there. There we have it. There's one end that's been done, and then now I can just place this on the turbo drain and check what kind of length I'm going to need to cut this pipe to. This is the AN10 straight I've got there, and this is my 45 installed on the turbo drain. And what I want to do is I really want to kind of put it in this position, which is more away from the downpipe. So I can't really show you two hands. It's going to be something like that. So I need to figure out the length, taking into account that there's a bit of length on here from the actual connector. So you can see I've got some blue tape on there and a little line, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly how long it needs to be. I'm going to cut it. Right, my little chopper tool worked again. This blade's a bit past its best after that, but it's done a job. Cut it pretty neatly, and now we can just go about putting the end on. It's exactly the same with this. Obviously you unscrew it, you put this end on first, and then flare it out just as before. Tape came off easier than the last time, but just that blue tape's really good masking tape for when cutting it. That means the braid stays together when you cut it, so it's kind of good news. Now I've just flared this out with the screwdriver, and I'm just going to bang this little end in. Banging it end down on the block of wood works really nicely. And I'm going to get the Everyman oil. So first of all, that end is flush to there. Okay, and then we can just pick this bit up. That's kind of the finished article there. Now I'm just going to put it on the car. The whole thing was off. I measured exactly how much of this I needed. This is obviously a bit of a backwards way of doing it, but it's how I'm going to do it. So the only way you're going to get this pipe, this insulation fiberglass stuff over this now is by wrapping it back with some tape like so, pushing it all in, and then just feeding that over. Otherwise the little bits of metal braiding are just going to stick on it. So I'm going to push that over there now. It's pushed right back, and now again leaving this tape where it is, I'm just going to place this end over there. It's over there like that. And now I just need to put this little bit over the top here. It's all on there like that. Now I'm just going to wash it out with some of that brake clean and put it back on the car. So that's the whole thing in there. I could have actually done it a little bit longer, this heat shielding stuff, but to be fair, I'm probably going to wrap the whole thing anyway. But there we go. There's the heat shield on there, and that will be good, particularly where it's closest, which is here. There's still a good air gap there anyway, so that's nice, and that is the turbo oil drain finished.